Republican congressman there, Kevin McCarthy, he's having some trouble dealing with these radical members of his parties, particularly Paul Gosar, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, those types of characters. But he still hasn't found a way to really control them. And they pointed that out before too. Marjorie's talked about how McCarthy cannot control her because she's a Donald Trump stooge. I think McCarthy does believe it, because after they've attended their white nationalist event, Marjorie and Paul, after they attended it, he still has no way of figuring out how he can maybe punish them, keep them in line, make sure they don't go to another, but he's pretty confident. Let's watch.
Update on your conversations with Congressman Gosar and Greene?
Yes, I've talked to Greene. I'm still waiting to talk to Gosar.
And?
I've talked to him.
But you said, I think you told Jake and Manu that there's no place for...
There isn't no place for that. There's no place for what has gone on with that organization by far, and there never will be in this party, and it'll never be tolerated.
Will she go again?
Yes. No, she will not go again.
She get any repercussions for her?
Look, at my conversations with my members are exactly that, and I appreciate you asking.
Well, on this topic, I mean, 3 years ago when Steve King made comments that were sympathetic to white supremacists, you supported kicking him off this committee.
I removed him from committee.
Yeah, and obviously Greene and Gosar are already off their committees. But you said in November that you'd return them to their committees and use that they might even get better committee assignments. Do you stand by that still?
They have the ability to be able to get committees based upon that time when it comes.
Kevin's having a tough time here towing this line of making sure he doesn't anger Donald Trump enough, but then also trying to tell people that he's actually controlling any of these folks that are doing all these radical things under him. Because who really knows what many Republicans believe? Who knows what Kevin McCarthy really believes? He's just trying to figure a way to say enough to keep them on board, because he's got to deal with these crazies in his party who are white nationalists, who are attending white nationalist events, and then saying, "Oh, that has no room in this party." When did that begin? A week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, right after they left the white nationalist event? At what point? That's the follow-up question here. I wish someone in the room had asked him. So when did you guys stop tolerating white nationalists in your party? Because 2 weeks ago, you didn't. And now that we're asking you about it now, they're gonna get some more committee assignments. Do you think white nationalists should sit on committees within the Republican Party in Congress when you plan to take over in 2022? These are questions that he was hoping to not have to answer, and for his sake, he didn't have to. So a little bit more on the background of this after they were taken off those committees, because in case you guys forgot, this isn't the first time. So Marjorie Taylor Greene was removed from her House committee assignments last year after a series of intolerant remarks made before she came to Congress came to light. Gosar was also formally censured by the House and removed from his committees after sharing an anime cartoon video showing him appearing to kill AOC and attack President Biden. Greene also drew widespread scrutiny last year when she was comparing mask mandates in the House to the Holocaust. These are the things they want you to forget, and I guess they're right, many people do, but the problem is these radical people within his party continue to do these things. Once they do these things, he has to answer for it or run away like he did before. All these things have happened. McCarthy has employed all kinds of tactics to avoid actually answering the question about what he's not doing with the members of his party. So they're still sitting on these committees. And also they were asking specifically about Steve King, who had gotten kicked off committees and actually ended up out of Congress altogether because of his rabid racism. So let's look at a quick reminder of how what he was talking about before when it comes to drinking toilet water in migrant facilities, because that was definitely the target of his ire, was all those damn immigrants.
That was, I call it the red carpet treatment, but it was the official tour for members of Congress that the Border Patrol sets up. I went through the detainment facilities that are there. I got a good look at a good number of the folks that were detained in those facilities. I actually went into that cell where it was reported that they were advised they had to drink out of the toilet. I took a drink out of there, and it's actually pretty good. So I have a videotape and I smacked my lips, but I didn't send it out because I thought, this subject just needs to go into the rearview mirror. Why'd I bring it up now, you ask?
So that was in 2019. Now, by the way, that was 2019 when Trump was still in the office. So Kevin McCarthy didn't have to do this dance about trying to make sure that Trump's feelings weren't hurt after he was lying about not losing the 2020 election. That's where this all comes back to. Remember, Kevin McCarthy was totally against what happened on January 6th when it was January 6th. After he went to Mar-a-Lago to go and beg for his dignity back from Donald Trump, he's been towing the line ever since. So keep track of the timeline of Kevin McCarthy and reasons why he's doing this. I don't believe that Kevin McCarthy agrees with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar and the Lauren Boeberts. He just needs to continue to follow behind Donald Trump, who believes in Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar, and Lauren Boeberts. That's who Kevin McCarthy works for. And by the way, for all the people who are concerned and upset all the time, you guys keep talking about Trump. You know why we keep talking about Trump? Because Trump still runs the Republican Party. So if you want us to stop talking about Trump, start talking about the people who are following Trump. Start telling Kevin McCarthy, why are you still following that clueless loser who shouldn't be running your party anymore? Ask him that.